This is Jam Nation.
With Jonesy and Amanda.
Let's get on down to the Jonesy and Amanda Arms for the pub test. And today, say what you want about the Queen, but the one thing that I'm learning today with her passing, she's the common thread through all our lives.
Oh, she absolutely is. So the pub test this morning, well, what's your favourite Queen moment? Which moment for you passes the pub test? I've got my tissue at the ready.
Yeah.
Because I cry every time I hear this. This was that beautiful little vignette that was filmed to celebrate her jubilee with Paddington Bear.
Perhaps you would like a marmalade sandwich. I always keep one for emergencies.
So do I. I keep mine in here. For later.
The party is about to start, Your Majesty.
Happy Jubilee, ma'am. And thank you for everything.
That's very kind.
I cried then, and I've cried all morning, and I'm crying now.
Well, here's something that's different. What about that story about her protective service guy, Dick?
Yeah.
They're out strolling around Balmoral Castle and they come across some American tourists.
And normally on these picnic sites, you meet nobody. But there was two hikers coming towards us and the Queen would always stop and say hello. And it was two Americans on a walking holiday. And it was clear from the moment that we first stopped, they hadn't recognised the Queen, which is fine. And the American gentleman was telling the Queen where he came from, where they were going to next, and where they'd been to in Britain. And I could see it coming, and sure enough, he said to Her Majesty, "And where do you live?" And she said, "Well, I live in London, but I've got a holiday home just the other side of the hills." And he said, "Well, how often have you been coming up here?" "Oh," she said, "I've been coming up here ever since I was a little girl, so over 80 years. And you could see the clogs thinking. He said, "Well, if you've been coming up here for 80 years, you must have met the Queen." And as quick as a flash says, "Well, I haven't, but Dick here meets her regularly." So the guy said to me, "Oh, you've met the Queen, what's she like?" And because I was with her a long time and I knew I could pull her leg, I said, "Oh, she can be very cantankerous at times, but she's got a lovely sense of humour." Anyway, the next thing I knew, this guy comes around, put his arm around my shoulder, and before I could see what was happening, he gets his camera, gives it to the Queen, and says, "Can you take a picture of the two of us?"
Take a picture of the man that met the Queen.
Yeah, and when he gets home and shows his photos to people, they go, "You know who that is?"
And that's what we're talking about. What Queen moment passes the pub test?
My favourite Queen moment was just like Amanda with Paddington Bear. She was a wonderful woman with such good humour. She was a lady, she was a leader, and she was much loved. And may she rest in peace.
Where she was with Daniel Craig in the Bond movie.
Many years ago, my first stop, the Queen came to Australia and she was going to be in Martin Place. So I went down in my lunch hour to Martin Place and waved my little flag, seeing the Queen, and I was 15 minutes late back and they docked me 15 minutes. It was well worth it.
My favourite Queen moment, I was about 8 or 9. My mum is Dutch, my dad's English, and they said, "We're going to go and meet the Queen today." So she dressed me and my sister in our tartan skirts, our homemade crochet knitted top. We go down to the Sydney Harbour. We're at Mrs Macquarie's chairs. We had our flag, and a boat goes up the harbour. That was it. I was just so disappointed. My Queen moment was seeing the boat, and I cannot for the life remember what it was for, but I just remember the moment of wearing a tartan skirt and a flag.
I was one of the crowd in the crowd with my mum. My mum was a huge Queen fanatic, and when the Queen came to Australia to open Mount King Hospital, I took my mum to line the streets for hours to wait for the Queen just to drive briefly past, and the look on my mum's face as she spotted the Queen for that split second was just priceless.
I was in the Sea Scouts in England when I was a young lad, and I used to sail a mirror dinghy and also canoe to get the Queen's badge for our troop. And one year she came along to meet the troop, and I got to meet the Queen. I love the Queen. I've been a fan of the Queen since I was a little one. With everything that's going on in the world at the moment, I think the last thing that we needed was to lose Lizzie.
Wow.
Oh, you know, when you look how the Queen meets all those people, and it's just another day in her life, but that moment is everything to the person whose hand she is shaking.
True.
And she understood the gravitas of that. She was present and she worked hard and shook hands every day of her life.